Hey, Rich here from BrickScene. Today we're doing a review on the 2019 Millennium Falcon. So I've managed to pick this up over the weekend. Thought I'd do a quick review and get it out to you guys. Set number 75257, the 2019 Millennium Falcon from the Rise of Skywalker. The set has 1,351 pieces, 299 New Zealand dollars on release. So what's in the box? You get 10 individual numbered bags. There's about 12 bags all up, 13 bags all up I should say, and a couple of extra loose pieces. There's an instruction book and there's a sticker sheet. Not too many stickers, pretty happy with the amount of stickers on this. The ones that they have given us are fairly necessary to the set. So the build itself, now if you've built one of these Millennium Falcons in the last couple of years, you're not going to be in for any surprises here. It's a fairly straightforward build using the same format as the previous Kessel Run Falcon and the Force Awakens version as well. There was nothing difficult about the build. It was all very easy, very simple to put together. No obviously difficult techniques. Nothing that would give any children any major difficulty. I quite enjoyed the build myself. Like I say, it's very similar to previous versions. However, I quite enjoy them. Difference in the details that they've brought into this one, or the minor differences that they've made to some of the details in the way that they've built a couple of things like the seats inside, the control panels, the greebling, the beds. They've changed up quite a bit. There are a couple of bits on it that I'm going to point out that I definitely don't like. So the final model. It's a Millennium Falcon. It looks a lot like the previous Millennium Falcons. There is some bits that they have definitely fixed when it comes to the gaps, especially on the top here on the roof. Unfortunately, fixing one gap has left another couple of gaps, and we'll come back to that. It's something that really bothers me about this. But let's go through some of the details. So inside the cockpit you have room for two, plus Dio. Dio gets his own special, she, I don't know. Dio gets its own special little seat behind Chewie. Through into the back they've added some cooking facilities. There's a mug there and what looks like a frying pan sitting on some sort of space type cooker, range, hob, whatever you want to call it. There's a container there that's empty. Then there's a hyperdrive of course, and then coming around there is the beds. They seem to have ditched the capsule style bed in favour of just a single or two single beds there. Coming around to the seats. Now, the seated area, I don't know, it looks a little bit simple compared to the last one from memory. I seem to recall the last one being a bit more involved. It's okay, it's built well, it sits there. The middle one moves around a bit, which I'm not too comfortable with. Now, coming around to this other seat here in front of the control panel, I like the build of the seat. I think it looks great, I think it looks cool, and a nice little addition. Better than just getting a standard seat. Now the outside details, there's a lot of greebling, of course. The greebling has been done in such a way that it looks different as you go around it. I felt that the last one was a bit repetitive in the way they did the greebling. So when I say the last one, I mean the Force Awakens version. Something that still really bothers me on these playset Falcons is the mandible, the front. They are too small, too thin, and to me really detracts from the look of the overall finished model. I like what they've used at the back here with these paint rollers to give a bit of texture by the vents. Same with the way they've built the guns on the top, the gun turret. Again, just a slightly different build from the last one. Pretty cool. I quite like it. Using the ski poles as the actual guns themselves. Inside you get the little seat for two gunners. Slightly different build from the last one. With a little targeting system there, using that 1x1 modified plate. You've also got the secret hatch there inside at the back. Two spring-loaded shooters there at the front. You access them by pushing your finger inside the holes on the front of the mandible there. Bit awkward really. If you've got fat fingers, you're not going to get them in too easy. Overall, I like the build. Let's come back to these gaps here at the front though. These gaps are hideous. They really detract from this, in my opinion. Could easily be fixed if they'd sorted out the size of the mandible, which I think they should do anyway. They just seem too thin. And while I really like what they've done with the top, I really do, I think they've managed to sort these gaps out and I think it looks great looking down on it. Just these gaps at the front really detract from the final model for me. Now let's get on to the minifigs. There's some really cool minifigs in here. First up, Bulio. I don't know who Bulio is. No Gangster's Paradise references, please. Next up, Chewbacca. Pretty standard Chewbacca with his bowcaster there. And then we get Lando Calrissian. Now he comes with a fairly odd looking gun where they're using that track piece there to give it a bit of a bow look, as well as some sort of staff. Really happy to get Lando. He's dressed in a similar way to the one that we got with the Kessel Run Falcon to tie all that in quite nicely. But a great figure, great figure. I'm really glad to have him in my collection. Then we get the 3 droids. We've got C-3PO, standard C-3PO, R2-D2, standard R2-D2. And then we get Dio. Dio's cool. The only thing I don't like about Dio is the fact that it's made out of one molded piece. I feel they missed a trick there, and they could have had a bit of a brick-built Dio. It was obviously a bit difficult. And then, of course, we have Finn. Now, Finn's looking fairly casual here. Comes with a little satchel and a blaster. Pretty good selection of minifigs. I have no problems with what they've given us here. So my overall impression of this new Falcon, I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I don't have my Force Awakens version anymore. I still have the Kessel Run version. And I'm glad to add this one. It is an improvement over the Force Awakens Falcon, I'll say that. There's only about 22, 23 more pieces. But the changes that they have made, especially to the top, are good. Very good. It's just those gaps, and you take the good with the bad. Now price, 299 New Zealand dollars on release. I always say this, hang around long enough and you will get a discount. Guaranteed, usually around that 20% mark, which will bring it down to that $240, to about $240 mark, which, in my opinion, for this set is a very good price. Now, would I buy it again? If you have any version of the Falcon prior to the Force Awakens version, then yes, this would be worth getting. If you've got the Force Awakens version, I probably wouldn't bother. I'd just fashion up a round radar dish for the top of this, and you're away. Yes, a couple of different minifigs, but the only real extra minifigs you're getting here are Lando Calrissian and Bulio. Again, nice minifigs, but is it worth upgrading your whole Falcon for that? So that's my overall impression. Now, there was a couple of major problems, in my opinion, but aesthetically, it's a great looking set. Play-wise, it's a great set. The choice of minifigures are great. And like I say, if you haven't got any other version prior to the Force Awakens version of the Millennium Falcon, then I recommend picking this up. Thank you. Cheers, guys. Take care. Subscribe, like, whatever you do with these things. Thank you.